I love these videos because people go off the rails because they get pissed off about NFTs. And we're going to talk about Star Atlas, which I am actually looking forward to. I'm a big fan of the Solana blockchain. I'm a big fan of crypto. I think it's the way forward in the future. You know, like a lot of people just instantly get a bad taste in their mouth when I say things like these. But I know that a lot of gamers aren't really involved with the financial world or the crypto world as well. So when I say it, a lot of people just say, fuck you, and turn me off. But, you know, I've got a trading channel and I talk about what I see and what's going to happen. Blockchain and decentralized networks are going to be the future of not only the financial industry, but basically the new internet. It's going to be Internet 3.0, and there's no stopping it. In the same manner, the internet hit in 94 and then busted in fucking 99 and boomed from 2000 to 2022 and what it is now. So I see that happening with blockchain. I see that happening as decentralization. I see money evolving and fiat evolving in the forms and methods and payments that we use. And also, I'm not saying Star Atlas is going to be the fucking game that is the game that's going to be the first amazing blockchain game ever. But I do like the fact that they're using Unreal Engine 5. I do happen to know a lot about NFTs, and I don't think that every NFT is a fucking scam. And I think that with Star Atlas, them using NFTs to support their game is very similar to Star Citizen's pledge system. And there's not much difference other than the fact that when you pledge to Star Atlas, you might have something that might accrue in value, and therefore you could actually sell for a hell of a lot more. And some people would say, well, that's very similar to the buyback system that we have in Star Citizen. Yes and no. Yes and no. But let's see what here says. Star Atlas, is this space game in trouble? Now, this is new news. This is from Obsidian Ant, who has amazing audio, and unfortunately, I do not right now, even though I've spent a fortune on my audio. But let's hear what Obsidian Ant has to say about Star Atlas. I mean, he has to, right? Because Elite Dangerous is going down the toilet really fast. So Obsidian Ant is diversifying, and he realizes I can no longer just focus on Elite Dangerous anymore because it's going down the fucking toilet. So let's see what he has to say about Star Atlas.
Some people, the Star Atlas is tipped to be the next big space game. The early footage is certainly impressive enough, or at least if you just go off trailers, pre-rendered at that. As is equally impressive the overall scope and the concept of the game. The problem many people have with Star Atlas though is the fact it is blockchain based, as well as based entirely more or less on NFTs, that's non-fungible tokens. A link on the screen right now, just in case a few of you out there are unsure of what NFTs are all about.
And let's just say this, I find that actually very silly, right? That there's this much disdain towards NFTs, because all you're really doing is you're pledging for a ship. It's really no different than pledging from a Star Citizen ship. So if you're in Star Citizen, you pledge yourself, you spend your $100+ on a cuddy, right? It's really no different than buying an NFT on Star Atlas and buying your ship this way to support it, other than the fact that you actually own a digital asset. I mean, in Star Atlas's terms, in the financial world, you actually own a digital asset.
Now the problem many people have with Star Atlas, of course, is that they are taking money selling assets for a game that as yet doesn't even exist, even in demo form.
And the other model, being Star Citizen, actually pledged ships that there was no game that existed either. So, like when you draw those parallels together, it's not much different than the way Star Citizen started out, really.
Other than a very, very basic mini game. Now, the last time I spoke about Star Atlas was at the end.
Right, Jack. And like Jack says, yes, you're seeing a lot of people jump on the fucking wagon, and those are bad actors. So Jack is right. There's a lot of bad actors in the space. There's a lot of scamolas, scamazes. Jack is absolutely right. It's become a buzzword, like metaverse has become a buzzword, right? But there's actually good in it. If you sift through all the fucking garbage, right? There's a small percentage of it that is actually genuinely good, but so many content creators jumped on the NFT fuck this bandwagon, and so many large ones did without really understanding the financial world, that they literally soured the view completely with with the amount, it's inundated out there with fuck NFTs. It is completely inundated. But if you take the time to research it and you know the good from the bad, you can discern it, because nothing's black and white. Let's be real here. You know, nothing, there's always the gray in the middle, right? And for those people that take the time to be rational and really just take the time to research it and understand what it is, and can disseminate, this is the bad shit and this is the good shit, you know, but you don't get that, because that doesn't bring the views. That doesn't bring the views to the people, right? They want to get as clickbaity as they can and just rain shit down on the NFT space because it gets them money.
Of December, just over 2 months ago, and since then, the most significant occurrence, the most significant event within the game's development is related to the cryptocurrency Stealth, Atlas currency. And Atlas has had a rather significant drop in value over the previous months.
Everything has had a drop in value. You know, like, don't just listen. I don't know how much Obsidian Ant knows about the financial world right now, but cryptocurrencies have been getting hit from multiple reasons. Regulation, overregulation, everything that's happening with Russia and Ukraine, you name it. From November until now, everything has been getting shit on. The financial world has been shit on, not just crypto, but stocks have been shit on as well.
Back in November 2021,
that's the day.
We can see the height of the Star Atlas currency was at around 21 cents.
And again, this is misleading. This is very misleading. And I hope he follows it up with the fact that it's not just this. It's everything. This chart looks like almost every cryptocurrency and stock chart that is out there right now. The entirety of fucking people said nope, because of everything that's going on in the world. Risk off. Risk the fuck off. I don't know if Putin's going to send some fucking missiles over. I don't know what the fuck's going to happen. And people pulled their fucking money out, which is really hilarious to me, because inflation is way above the CPI numbers of fucking 7% that they're reporting. It's more like 20% core inflation rate, which is ridiculously high. What does that mean? It means that your money is worth 20% less, because there's 20% more of it, because there's so much fucking printed out there. So like, you literally have less purchasing power now than you did a year ago just by holding on to your cash. So people are taking cash away from any asset that might accrue in value because of the fucking shit that there is, and they're getting double fucked right now. They're literally, people are getting double fucked right now.
Per Atlas coin. That has now significantly dropped down to around about 2 cents per Star Atlas coin. So a huge drop in value here. The obvious question then...
Also, not financial advice, but as a trader, as somebody who trades personally, what I do in times like this is I buy. Because there's one thing I learned as a trader. When there is blood in the streets and there is fear everywhere, buy. It is the person in the theater who is left, and he's like, everybody ran away because somebody was screaming fire. And you're just like, hey, cool. You know, like, I'm the dude here left for the movie, and you're eating fucking popcorn. Now, sometimes the theater actually does burn down. But like, the only way to get maximum gain and maximum profit, again, financial opinion, not advice, is when there's fucking blood in the streets and fear everywhere you go. That's when you buy. When everybody's exuberant, when everybody's like, oh, this is the best shit ever, I love it, and it's like 20 fucking cents, and everybody's like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, this is great, keep going to the moon, moon boys come out, moon boys, that's when you sell. That's when you fucking sell.
A huge drop in value here. The obvious question then is, what type of impact does this have on Star Atlas and its players? Now, I say players, but of course there isn't any fully released final version of a game just yet. The Star Atlas website does have a basic mini-game. Not going to go into that in this particular video.
Their website's very well done, by the way.
Basic and probably not even worth talking about, but...
Yeah, the game on there is basic, he's right, but the website is very professionally done. I'm surprised he did not mention that.
Yes, you do need to spend money and purchase a ship to even get involved in that. Now, whilst there isn't a fully released game, only that mini-game, there is nonetheless a fully tradable marketplace for Star Atlas. Here, people are able to trade ships and commodities, weapons, any digital item in fact that they have purchased on the website. And this really is where this drop in value of the Star Atlas currency is going to come into effect. It's going to impact anyone that has purchased these commodities, these digital assets, back when Atlas was at a higher value. Obviously, these have dropped by a major factor. They're now worth only 10% of their...
Yeah, because everybody got fucked holding the bag right now, right? But that doesn't mean, again, it's so cyclical. The market is so cyclical. This shit could come right back and roaring past the 20 cents that it used to be. It could or it could not. So again, with anything that is an asset, you have to realize the financial world. You have to realize what's going on in the world, why things are trading the way that they are. It's not as simple and black and white as Obsidian is. I love Obsidian, nice guy, but much more has to be talked about here. And this is something that I find, again, is irresponsible. I know he's not trying to give you every angle here, because I think there's some angles that Obsidian Ant knows nothing about. But I find it a slight bit irresponsible of content creators, especially Obsidian Ant, who has over 284,000 subscribers, right? I know I'm a content creator and I try to make a living as well. But when I make the content, if it's not my forte, I try and stay away from it, right? I want to make sure that when I'm reporting on something and I'm presenting something to you, that I'm giving you all the angles here. And what I'm telling you right now, there's a lot of factual there's a lot of facts here, people, that I'm talking about as we're going over the video that aren't being presented in this. Now, again, I have a much more limited audience. I have like 14,000 subscribers. But what makes it hard for me as a content creator is when I see people that have a very large subscriber base and then they tell their audience this is not great because it's gone from 20 cents to 2 cents, but they don't put it in a framework of everything that's happening in the world today, right? What Obsidian Ant is telling you right now is it's only Star Atlas. He's not telling you anything else about the entirety of the digital market, of the crypto markets, NFT markets, stock market. He's not telling you anything about that. He's just focusing on this one game and presenting it as this. Now, again, I'm not a fucking shill for Star Atlas. I'm not somebody that's even looking forward to the game, right? I just like the fact that they're doing this. They're raising money through NFTs. I think it's revolutionary. I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome what they're doing on a financial level. I think it's awesome. Will they deliver? I don't know. Is it going to be a scumaz? I don't think so. I mean, I went to the website. It looks pretty fucking professional. They've got a lot of money that they raised in it. They're going to put a cryptocurrency in the game. It's going to be like a pay-to-play game. Some people have a bad taste in their mouth about pay-to-play games as well. You know, again, I think it has to do a lot with these content creators that have a very large subscriber base that really don't understand the climate, the situation, and the environment of game development.
Value back during November of 2021. So anyone who's purchased some high value items here and they apparently were going for some
good night, Oz. Have a good night.
Has now lost a huge amount of money in the value of those assets. And this is always a risk when it comes to any game based on blockchain. The risk, of course, is many times worse when there isn't even a final version of the game available, and instead you're just buying digital assets from what's, to all intents and purposes, a concept of a game. Now, that said, do keep in mind that all of this, everything I've said in this video so far and everything I say in the rest of the video is pure speculation. I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not a cryptocurrency expert, so everything here, as I said, is speculation and is pure opinion.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Obsidian, I appreciate you saying that, buddy. I really do. That it was very responsible. Hallelujah, amen. Hallelujah, amen. That's A+. Now that is A+. Because, you know, that should have been mentioned. No offense, because I know Obsidian watches these from time to time. So Obsidian, if you're watching, dude, like constructive criticism, bro, put what you said at the 3 minute and 18 mark, put that up towards the front, bro. Put that up towards the front.
So the whole subject of blockchain games, and specifically NFTs in gaming, has been a very, very strange subject, very controversial subject over recent months. We can look to the wider gaming communities slightly away from Star Atlas here to get a feel for what some people out there, some prominent people at that, are actually saying, and maybe, who knows, this has had a bit of a knock-on effect for blockchain games like Star Atlas. Very recently then, Gabe Newell gave his thoughts on NFTs in an interview with Rock Paper Shotgun. Here's a few of his thoughts. At one point, Steam was accepting cryptocurrencies for payments, and it turned out that it just made customers super mad. There was the issue of volatility. You don't want your pricing to vary when anchored to people's wages. So it would seem that this...
The funny thing is, it's really no different than fucking fiat. It's really no different than paper money, which is the most hilarious thing. It's just forms of fucking currency is all. And I would say this, obviously you want to make sure that whatever it is that you're going to be paid in or trade in terms of cryptocurrency is a cryptocurrency that you have studied, that you have researched, that you believe in, right? I mean, even then there's a chance of failure in it, right? Because there's so many of them. But if you do the due diligence, right, and you're getting paid in something like, let's say, Bitcoin, which in my mind, if you really take the time to learn about Bitcoin and you dive down deep and you go down that rabbit hole, you will never come back and you will say, holy shit, something with scarcity that there can only be 21 million of, that is literally a claim to property that you own, that is much safer, in my opinion, than all the fucking government's currencies on the entire fucking planet, because it's controlled and centralized by the international bank, the central bank, and people that are in power and corrupt, because absolute power corrupts absolutely, right? This is something that is not able to be hacked, touched, changed. It's immutable. It's quite beautiful. The code of it is elegant and simplistic, and everything is recorded on an online ledger. Again, my opinion, right? I personally would definitely love to be paid in Bitcoin on stream here rather than Amazon bits. I would love to be paid by Bitcoin rather than any other thing that I can be paid with. I would love to have a way that you guys could donate Bitcoin to me. I would be like so fucking happy. I would be so happy.
This thought is kind of reflected with what's happened with the Atlas currency. You can see there's been quite a lot of volatility here. That said, Gabe Newell doesn't overall seem to think that NFT technology is necessarily a bad thing. He said the underlying technology of distributed ledgers and the notion of digital ownership and shared universes are all pretty reasonable. That said, it seems as though he's got a pretty big caveat to this, and said the people in the space though tend to be involved in a lot of criminal activity and a lot of sketchy behaviours. So it's much more about the actors than it is about the underlying technology.
Absolutely.
Or the rationale for what we're doing.
Absolutely.
Newell, of course, isn't the only one to have recently spoke out about NFTs. Creator of the much-loved Civilization franchise, Sid Meier, has also recently shared a few words. Now, his take was somewhat different from Gabe's in that he particularly focused on gameplay, and for me, this is the real crux of the issue.
Yes.
It's all well and good these companies talking about NFTs and selling digital assets, but the real focus for any game has surely got to be gameplay.
Yes.
Here is what the creator of the Civilization franchise had to say.
Actual development.
The real challenge and the real opportunity is keeping our focus on gameplay. That is what is unique, special and appealing about games as a form of entertainment.
No shit. No shit, Sherlock. It's actually about the development of, get this, the game.
We forget about that and decide it's monetization or other things that are not gameplay focused, when we start to forget about making great games and start thinking about games as a vehicle or an opportunity for something else.
Very well said,
That's
Sid.
when we stray a little bit further from the path. Ultimately then, it's all well and good when you hear brand new game concepts for games that are not yet fully developed, such as Star Atlas, that give the talk, but don't actually do the walk, at least not yet.
And let me remind you, that's exactly how Star Citizen started out. But Star Citizen had Chris Roberts, who already had a history with us as gamers growing up, with Wing Commander and, you know, so many other titles that we absolutely enjoyed. So he had the history. This guy, the CEO of Star Atlas, not so much. He's a smooth talker. I've seen him before. They actually hired a lot of Cloud Imperium gamers, or a lot of Cloud Imperium employees, sorry, and developers. I did not know this. We watched a video on Star Atlas. You can type it up on DG360, and we found out that the developers of Star Atlas actually hired quite a few Cloud Imperium employees, former employees.
And when the big focus for that, much the focus for these type of games, Earth 2 is another such example, is all about monetization. Then, well, what does that really mean for the future of the game's gameplay? Overall, then, it feels like a very difficult place from which...
No, it's exactly how it fucking started, because there was literally no gameplay and people were pledging their money for no gameplay. In that respect, Jack, that's what I'm talking about. You know, like, I'm talking about in terms of like saying, okay, what is there to show for the pledging that is happening, especially with Kickstarter and how it started up? Because initially it wasn't even on Kickstarter. They got so much support. Chris and Cloud Imperium got so much support from the get-go that the servers literally crashed, and they had to start the campaign on a Kickstarter platform. And at that particular point in time, there was no gameplay at all. That's what I'm talking about, Jack. Like, when I'm drawing the analogy between Star Citizen and Star Atlas, people were pledging and there was nothing. And it was like that way for quite a bit. It was literally all we had eventually were the hangars and Arena Commander. And that didn't even come out for a while. So there was a few years there where development really, there was none. Other than they were getting everybody together and giving us small cinematics, but same thing that's happening here. You know, I'm not saying the Star Atlas crew knows anything about anything. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. But I know that the way that these two titles started out, very similar. So there, the Jack, sorry, buddy. That's just my opinion. My opinion, bud.
To sell at the idea of a game and get customers interested in it. From Gabe Newell's ideas,
Explodo. Have a good day, buddy.
Behavior behind NFTs, and Sid Meier's thoughts on the lack of potential gameplay when the focus instead is on monetization. These are all ideas, those are all opinions that are very much reflective of current gamers. I'd like to say that with industry-leading figures such as Gabe Newell and Sid Meier giving thoughts like these, it would be an indication that people who are making blockchain games and NFT-based games should tread very, very carefully and really think about how they want to build out their game and get players investing their money, especially early on. But, you know, that said, with the likes of Square Enix and Take-Two still very much interested in pushing NFTs, well, it's not a very encouraging light for the future, is it? Then again, gamers aren't stupid. There's every chance that...
Yeah, when you have these large AAA guys and they're pushing NFTs down, that's obviously, you know, the focus is not on the game development, that the focus is on the financial side. I get that. It taints it sometimes, right? It even taints it with Star Atlas a bit sometimes, right? It just depends. Like, you got to know the motivations. You got to know that there's integrity there. You got to know that they're doing it because they want to actually make the game for you, right?
If companies push things too far, gamers will simply drop their products and move elsewhere.
He did a great job on this video. He does have a voice that's a little bit ASMR chrono, yes.
Do let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section below. I'd love to hear from you. As always, thanks for watching.
Yeah, we don't know. DY, I think you're correct on that statement. Like, we don't know the developers of Star Atlas like we know Chris Roberts, right? Chris Roberts knew he had the name. Chris Roberts came into the space. He had proven titles in the past. Exactly, DY. We don't know. But just because we don't know, we should not discredit right away. Healthy skepticism, constructively looking at this thing and trying to be as non-biased as possible is what I'm trying to do with Star Atlas when I'm covering Star Atlas, because I'm fascinated with pay-to-play games. or play to pay games, or however the fuck you want to say it. And I'm fascinated with what gaming is going into the future with VR. And I think it's going to be much cooler to play a game and actually make money doing it at the same time. And I might be a minority. I might not be, popular in saying that, but personally, if I could play a game and have fun playing the game and make money too, the fuck is the problem? I'm having a good time and making money. Yes, please. Yes, please. So anyway, Obsidian Ant's take on it. Obsidian, my only constructive criticism is, put the disclaimer first that you're not, you're not coming at this with any kind of tangible knowledge about the financial aspect to it when you're talking about the financial aspects to it. But anyhow, Obsidian is a good dude. And it is a very well edited video. I just think that, it needs to be explored a little deeper. And that's why we do what we do here on DG360. Back to the show, Pepe. Back to the show.